Two. There you go. It's being recorded, just so you know.
Confirmation.
Welcome everyone to the Unite Show. My name's Crystal. This is my partner Shine, and together we are Unite. We are going to start off this evening. This is our weekly connection time, and we've got three amazing speakers and presenters and musicians going to share their magic with us tonight. So we are going to start it off in just a moment. We've got a little technical, there we go, we're all good. We are going to get us all grounded in, settled from the day, and focused on the call with a beautiful intro song from the lovely and talented Tiffany Sparrows. So take it away, Tiffany.
Okay,
and if everyone can mute
Yes.
while we play, that'd be great.
Oh yes. Always a good idea. That way we don't get background children and dogs and all that great yummy stuff. All right, so I'll do, I think, an opening song. It's a welcoming song that I've done for many years and I do at many events. Lightly taken from a Rumi poem, Be Welcome Here. And I just invite you to take a couple of breaths to help you center. If you like to breathe out through your mouth. And just calling all parts of yourself in. The physical, the mood or the feeling tone that you've got going on. Any thoughts? And then that beautiful connection to what is beyond ourselves, to spirit and to the earth. All that I am, all I've been and will ever be, all of me.
No, I know, but still, like it's still the emotional go through, right? You know, because like I said, you know, my mom went
We'll
really
just
fast.
ask everyone to mute themselves, please.
It's just
As much as your conversations sound awesome, you know, we'll keep going. All that I am, all I've been and will ever be, all of me is welcome here. And just breathe into that. Hold it in for a moment and then expand in all directions. And again, all that I am, all I've been and will ever be, all of me is welcome here. In the essence of peace, Om Shanti. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Be welcome here. Be welcome here. Be welcome here. Be welcome here. Wherever you are, wherever you're from, be welcome here. Wherever you are, wherever you're from, be welcome here. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. be with you. May peace be with you. Even if you've broken your vow 1,000 times or more. Oh, even if you've broken your vow 1,000 times or more. Be welcome. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Om. 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 Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Shanti Om. All that I am, all I've been and will ever be, all of me is welcome here.
Like an angel fairy princess.
That's for you, Deanne.
Right.
I love it. That was amazing.
And all of you.
So lovely.
I kind of went places. Mm.
So lovely. Thank you. Thank you. That was wonderfully talented Tiffany Sparrow. You can find her music all over the magical musical places. I was very excited to find that both Instagram, on Instagram, you can search for her music and add it to your reels and your stories. So the reels and the stories for this event have Tiffany's music in them. So that's so much fun when the people that I know are in Instagram music land. So very, very cool. So thank you, Tiffany.
That's so good.
We're going to do things a little bit differently today. We are going to ask everyone, anyone who wants to give a quick hello. You can introduce yourself, give your name, and then what we would like to ask from you is if there's something in particular about the subjects that we're talking about tonight that you are excited to learn or to hear from, or what's exciting to you and bringing you to this conversation, so that our lovely speakers will have a little bit of a sense of where you're coming from. So we'll try and keep it brief so that we have lots of time to hear from them and for them to answer any questions you have. So if you're joining us now and you're live on one of our live streams and you don't know what I'm talking about, we're doing a Zoom here where we've got some lovely presenters, and we're going to be learning about Vedic astrology, Akashic records, and beautiful healing music and positive body image. So those are our fun topics tonight. So who would like to start us off with a little brief intro? It could be something like, hi, my name's Crystal. I'm co-founder of Unite, and I am really excited to hear from all these amazing women and hear why they do what they do and how they support humanity in up-leveling together. So that would be my why. Who would like to take us away?
I'm just trying to think. Hello, can you hear me?
We
Yeah.
can.
Hi, well, I did my, I just got my birth chart read, and my name's Kathleen Joel, and I just found out I'm a healer. Yeah, so, and to bring up my intuition more out into the world, he told me I have to eat like 5 almonds every morning to bring it out more further. Because it's in my family. My younger sister has it, which Sean knows my younger sister, Christine. She has the gift too. And I found out that I have it because my dad had it. And so he had it since he was born, and he passed it on to me and my younger sister. and my older sister, but my older sister's not in tuning into it like I started doing it. I used to have dreams at nighttime, so I kind of knew that I had it. So, because 2 weeks later, the dreams would come true. Some of the stuff I didn't really want to talk about because they scared me a lot. But I knew, and then when I got my birth chart, he goes, "Yeah, you've got the gift. You should bring it out more." So now I'm going to work on it more, and I'm still working on my jewelry so I can bring it and help people through the jewelry. I'm going to bring my intuition into the jewelry. So when people buy the jewelry, it will be in there to help heal whatever they need to heal.
Beautiful.
So that's what my plans are doing. So I changed my jewelry name. It's called
Lovely.
Kathleen Jewelry and Accessories.
Lovely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Great job.
And feel free to share the link to your store in the chat so that people can go check it out.
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Would anyone else like to share what they're excited about tonight?
Hi everyone, I'm Melanie. Happy to be here. So I've heard of Aztec, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've heard of the records before, but I actually don't know what it is. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. And also maybe any websites, resources after to read more about it, or post it in the Facebook event page for today. So yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Melanie.
Lovely. Thank you for being here.
Just quickly, what's your gift to the world? What do you get up to?
Health and wellness. I'm a big fan of mental wellness, spiritual, physical, like movement, nutrition.
Beautiful. We're happy to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I'll be next.
Yeah.
You're up.
Everybody. Okay, my name is Kira, and I'm an empowered communication mentor. And I am looking forward to hearing about the Vedic stuff because I don't actually know very much about that. But also with the Akashic, I'm a little familiar with it, but I'm curious about how one starts to begin connecting to it. So like if there's an attunement like Reiki, or like how one gets, connected to that. And yeah, I do have a mini ask. I'm putting the final touches on a program for single parents to help them build the communication and harmony in the home. And if there are any single dads out there, I would love to hear the male perspective, especially if you have kids under 10. So yeah, you can find me like everywhere from my name. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Kira, just put that little ask in the chat with the link to your Facebook so people can find you. Thank you, love. Woohoo.
This is so fun.
For anyone who's just tuning in, we're just doing a little quick round robin intros for anyone who wants to say hello and share a little bit about what you're excited about, to what you're excited to learn about or hear about from our lovely speakers tonight. So would anyone else like to share?
Hi, I can go.
Go, Curtis. Oh, Curtis and Zachary have to duke it out.
Zachary, you can go.
Oh, Zachary, you're up. Curtis will take a minute.
Zoom broad.
Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, I'll be quick. I'm making food right now. It's been a long day, but tonight was kind of, I think, packaged just for me. Honestly, I love music and movement and body image and like healing body image issues. But I'm also a yoga teacher. I'm actually studying Vedic astrology with Kathleen, and I have my own personal interest in Akashic records as well. So yeah, I'm in good company tonight for sure.
Hey.
Wonderful. Happy
Welcome.
to have you here. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're up, Curtis.
I sure am. So my name is Curtis, and I'm fusing adventure and consciousness. I'm the adventure alchemist, and I'm just excited to be on a call with other alchemists because I know someone's going to drop a truth bomb that's going to rock my world, and it's going to give me that 1% shift, and those 1% shifts are so juicy.
Awesome. Thank you,
Nice
Curtis.
one, brother.
Would anyone else like to share a little hello? Well, oh, Kaisa, you're up.
My name is Kaisa. I'm a transpersonal therapist, and actually, Vedic astrology and Akashic records really excite me. I've done a fair bit in the past with these two modalities, and I'm so happy to learn more. Yes, actually, and I wouldn't marry my husband until we'd gone and seen our Vedic astrologist. So I definitely.
And
And
as I
also,
recall, it was not a good fit.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was not a good reading from what I remember.
and also really tried to push in my gentle, loving, not gentle way, a bunch of my children to head over as well for various supports. So Crystal, I don't think you went, but some of the others did.
Thank you, Mom. That's my mama, if you don't know.
Oh, that's so funny. Crystal rebelled against her hippie upbringing by becoming a insurance salesman or something ridiculous.
It was multi-level marketing stuff, so it wasn't that conservative. But yes, I did get my life insurance license, so I was very proud of that. From a homeschool hippie kid, I've never done a test in my life except my life insurance exam. So I did pass. I failed my mutual funds one, thank goodness, though. That one's hard. Anyway, we digress. Would anyone else like to say hello and share something that they're looking forward to from the call tonight? Okay. Oh, Jen, are you going to share? Or are you just, oh, maybe you were unmuted anyway. Okay. Well, I think that's a sign that everyone is very excited to hear from our amazing speakers and just wants us to get on with it. So I think that's what we'll do. Right? Isn't that what you interpreted from everyone's silence? I'll interpret that. Yeah, everyone's like, enough of you chattering. Let's get to the meat. So yeah, thank you everyone for being here. If you're tuning in live on any of our live streams, please do check in the comments for the Zoom link. Then you can join us on Zoom and actually get to see other people other than just Shine and I. This is being recorded and there will be replays shared everywhere. So if you need to pop in or out or can't stay, you can check that out on Unite and anywhere else that we post stuff. So without further ado, I think we're going to hear from Tiffany Sparrow again to take us into another little something or other, and then we'll actually get to lead into her, if that's okay with you, Tiffany. Yep. And then we will lead into actually getting to pick Tiffany's brains and ask her what she's up to with this body consciousness stuff. And yeah, get to ask her some juicy questions. So,
and Angie, as you're the admin, can you just make sure everyone's muted and everyone mute yourselves?
Yeah.
And let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll play another tune. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here and for sharing your excitement. I'm also excited to be here and to hear about all the things that you've said you're excited to hear about too. So this song is called Good Day. And if you catch the chorus, it's just, oh, it's gonna be a good day. Or, I mean, I guess I could say, oh, it's been a good day. But we can also just keep it in, you know, it is a good day. But it does go, oh, it's gonna be a good day. So let's keep it to that, keep it simple. Not to confuse myself. So no matter what's been going on, if there's been some challenges, I just invite you to breathe those in. And just let those soften a little bit with your breath. Let them soften with the sound. And just connect to, no matter how much, if there's darkness at all, there's always light. There's always the gu and the ru, the light and the dark together. So just connecting into that aspect of yourself that can connect into the goodness of this day. And maybe you can even just think of one thing or a few things that were really good about this day for you. hear you laugh, watch you smile. Oh, you've earned this. You've come a long way. We've been down this road once or twice. Sometimes it's sure, sometimes you roll the dice. You've lived to tell your tale, earned the right to say, whoa, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. Whoa, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. In times when the world feels unkind, you've just got to make up your mind to look at your life through a glass half full. Whoa, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. Whoa, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. Sing it with me if you like. Whoa, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. Whoa, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. 'Cause there's always more than one way to see. The habits we break are what make us to be who we are, and the way we stay. Oh, I know it's gonna be a good day. Yes, I know it's gonna be a good day. Oh, I know it's gonna be a good day. Yes, I know it's gonna be a good day. Sing it. Oh, I know it's gonna be a good day. Yes, I know it's gonna be a good day. Oh, I know it's gonna be a good day. Yes, I know it's gonna be a good day. Whoa, oh, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. Whoa, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. Whoa, whoa, I know it's gonna be a good day. Whoa, 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 I know it's gonna be a good day. Yes.
Yay! Sparrow, sparrow. Aw,
So lovely.
that's so lovely. I can't wait to do that in the BC Place and stadiums around the world.
Right? Oh,
Sounds good to me.
so good, right?
Yeah, just
One
plant
of
those
them.
affirmations into song, and it
Yeah.
amplifies them, you know, with vibration amplifies our affirmations. So
It really does. So lovely. Oh, thank you.
You're so sweet. What a beautiful soul.
Oh, you can't mute yourself. We're gonna dig in now.
oh, we're gonna talk to me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, and we're
You're
done.
not just a singing and dancing
You're
monkey.
not just a pretty face. We expect wisdomous words from you.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm excited. Yeah.
Okay,
let's
go.
begin.
Wisdom.
Uh,
Lower mind.
Home is my wisdom.
So we'll ease you in with my favorite question to ask people, especially sometimes when you're interviewing people, they can kind of have like some of their history and stuff by rote. And I love throwing in there, my favorite thing that I always want to know from people is, why do you do what you do? Because we all know following your passion being an entrepreneur, starting businesses, spreading your art is a lot of work. And for most of us, it would be way easier to do something else, but we don't. So it makes it easier, not more fun, not more fulfilling, but technically probably easier to just go to work and like an actual,
Yes.
job where someone else tells you what to do. And yeah, so what is your why? What got you into music originally? And then I'd love to hear more about all your body consciousness stuff too, and how you incorporate
Sure.
those together.
Well, I mean, it all relates actually. And I mean, I was fortunate to grow up in a family that valued music, and where there was singing, and my mom and my her brothers and sisters and my granny actually, in a real folk style, folk way, would sit around the piano or the guitar and play. So I was lucky to have music in my life. But my big why is that I went through a really traumatic period in my preteens, 10 and 11 years old, and I had to face eating disorders and several eating disorders, and was actually hospitalized for anorexia at 11, and found it was obviously a very difficult time in my life. And at that point, there was a lot less known, and there still isn't a ton known. They still can be fairly mysterious, but I just didn't feel I really got what I needed to get to the heart of what I was going through in my body and my feelings through talk therapy and through medication, which is what was prescribed. And so even at that young age of 12, I remember really clearly thinking like, wow, yeah, okay, this isn't going to do it for me. And it was hard, but I'm grateful because it really sort of sparked my search, I guess the spiritual quest, if you will. And I didn't know that's what it was at the time, but just looking for alternatives, looking for ways to find peace, looking for ways to come home to joy in this temple. And I ended up doing a lot of writing, and music was there, and the voice. I mean, the voice, our instrument is our body, right? So it was a really beautiful, tricky sometimes teacher or way to come more and more into myself and into my body. And I ended up going to school for performance base, and again found that was really not quite the right place for me, because it was very, you must sound a certain way and fit in a certain way, and it's lovely, and I'm not trying to diss it at all, but it just wasn't totally for me. And then found music therapy, and music therapy it's an awesome discipline. It's a 4-year undergrad degree. And it really opened up for me this idea of music's not just about performance. It's not just for, those on the stage who get into performative roles. It can be, but it's really a very powerful healing modality. So that kind of combined with yoga at the same time that I was doing my music therapy training. Yoga and somatic body, mind, spirit practices came into my experience, and the two have really just, gelled or come together. And so, shamanic use of music, the yoga of sound, like there's all kinds of different words you could use for it, but just using sound to bring the peace that comes with that connection. The word yoga means to connect. It's not postures. It's about the connection of body to soul. And so, yeah, that's sort of a quick and dirty version of why I do what I do. And yes, music is medicine. Absolutely, Deanne, for sure. For sure it can be.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
I met a man named Michael Waters. I don't know if you've ever known him.
Yes, I do. Is he a guitarist? Very talented.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, passed away a year or two ago. And I played a few shows with him, and he used to talk about that some musicians are born to perform, and it's part of that's their path. And then for some, it's and not just musicians, but artists and people, I guess, it's more about a spiritual practice that is for you. And then when you decide to share that, it becomes sort of a more of a sacred healing, whatever you want to call it. But it's the intention is to go deep and connect and have a different experience than just the performative. And and they can blend and mix.
They can blend. Yeah.
I think it's the best when you watch a movie that just moves you, or hear a song, that has that. But yeah, I always love that. And that's, as you know, my path with music as well. So it's really, I love it.
Thank you for that. What I also really love is that, I mean, in other traditions, in especially indigenous traditions, if you will, and all kinds of indigenous First Nations, and even in India, even classical music, there's a whole lot of talk about the spiritual when it comes to music. You know, in a way that I never ever found in Western, in all the Western music that I've done. And again, I'm not dissing any of these modalities, and I really am in awe. But just yeah, there can be different paths for different people.
So interesting. Are the Western, and I don't know the Indian or Chinese traditions well enough to know, but my assumption is that a lot of the Western stuff, whether it's medicine or art, is still young, like it's because like it's a younger, and then some of the cultures that have been around a while longer, there's like a spiritual depth that they've just grown up with, that's been part of it forever. And yeah, it's interesting to see the differences of how that works.
Yeah. Different approaches, different values.
Yeah.
So how do you work that into your practice now when you do you do music therapy? Is that one of your offerings? And then bringing that together. I was looking through your website a little bit, but I'd love for you to share some of that with everyone here.
Thank you for that. I mean, oh, names, right? Sometimes like what do you call it? Like shamanic coaching, or I am a clinical music therapist, so that is my designation. So I still will kind of lean into that, but I don't necessarily do the typical populations that music therapists will work with, people on the spectrum, or with the elderly with dementia, and all those are lovely too. And where I want to focus is around mental health, and so I work quite a bit within that area, and a bit in some rehabilitation, but then within this realm of body image, eating disorders, the whole spectrum, right? I mean, you don't have to be in a disorder per se to feel entrapment and enmeshment with food, diet, body discomfort, even pain. Like those can be a really kind of strange spectrum. The way that feeling and sensation in our body relates to emotion, it can lend itself really nicely to a spectrum. So yes, I definitely do offer, and we'll call it music therapy for lack of better terms, yet to be discovered. And it comes in, music and sound come in a whole variety of ways. And so I'll often describe it as music and sound can kind of be the container. And so it can be kind of in the background, either played live for the different guided journeys that we can go on, or relaxation processes, or recorded can also happen there, or it can come more to the forefront, and it can be something where we actually do a musical life review, where we actually talk about poignant parts of a person's life, and just how those relate to music, and what listening to that music brings up, and then work from there. Or there's a whole bunch of different things we can do that way, to actually sounding and vocalizing. And sounding and vocalizing, I always like to say, doesn't need to be singing per se. And especially if you think about it, and again, I kind of get this from the Vedic or the Indian traditions, a lot of the Vedic mantras that were, they're all kind of right around here, and kind of like Gregorian chanting. And it's meant to be very close to the range of your speaking voice, so that they're accessible, right? So I'd like to tell everyone that it's not very far of a leap to go from speaking to singing, and you can just kind of go, and to start to, if you're intimidated to get into your voice, that a really great way to start is just with a few, like a spoken, or even just a sound like a hum, right? It doesn't have to be, this great big whoa thing, like you don't have to do that in order to access the benefits of sounding and singing. Yeah, so we can go from, to answer the question, music can be quite in the background, or it can come right to the forefront and become a very somatic part of the experience, and very powerful when we make music live, with our rhythm in our bodies, in our breath, and with our voices, right? So all of this really depends on the individual. I work mainly with individuals right now, and so it's all about just what is tailored for the person and where they're at.
Beautiful. Oh, that's so exciting. I feel like it's really, like you said, there is a lot of boxes of kind of like, this is music therapy and this is what it's for, and this is chanting and this is what it's for. And unless you're a monk or like you've got a problem and you need therapy, there's no space for you. And I've found so many of our, I was never into singing. I always felt very self-conscious about my voice. And of course, being with a singer for 5.5 years, I've let some of that go. And with, yeah, exactly. And especially at our events, whenever we would have somebody doing some kind of music that I could participate in, that I could sing along to when we were doing any kind of kirtan or anything. And I would kind of, hide underneath everyone else's voices a little bit, but give myself permission to vocalize. And I found always so like this powerful unlocking, just using my voice in a more drawn out, projected way than just our regular. Most of us aren't screaming or yelling or laughing really loudly at most of our lives. We're at quite a neutral space with our voices, and to have that time to push the air through my body, I found I really moved stuff very, very deeply, and you get all teary and let alone, of course, a lot of the chants are very ancient and beautiful and meaningful anyway. But I really appreciated those spaces, and I've been excited to create more opportunities to have that in a community environment without having to have it have labels, and it is therapy or it's kirtan with a special philosophy behind it, but just having an opportunity to actually get to sing and vocalize together is super fun. So I'm glad you're bringing that forward for all of us, and a great reminder to crank up the tunes and move air through our body when we can.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be as simple as emotions and letting emotions have a sound, right? Like, so often, and children are really good at this. Children are like, they don't necessarily have a filter, and it's not always appropriate for us to like, or whatever we need to, maybe the emotion that comes up, right? But actually taking time or giving people the space to, what is that emotion and what does it actually sound like? What does that sadness actually sound like? Or what does that glee, what is that, like, what does that actually sound like? And to take the space to explore emotional expressions. It gives them the space to, they can be so, shut down and crystallized in our bodies. And this is one of the things, and one of the places where I work quite a bit, is that connection, as I said, between emotion or feeling and sensation or feeling, right? So for feeling heavy, for feeling, bad about parts of our body, connecting in with also the emotion there is a real key in. And doing that through music, I mean, music does so many things for us neurologically, and especially within the emotional and the memory centers in our brain, and just the way it can trigger those. And it can just be really a fantastic tool when used strategically. And I will say that I do differentiate between a one-off kirtan that I do and therapy. They can be therapeutic, but when I'm referring to therapy, I'm something that's a little more enduring, a little more long lasting, not just a peak experience kind of thing, something that helps to raise your base level consistently over time, right? That bringing in music and sound in different ways can be a really great way to release and then reclaim. We don't always need to release the emotions. Sometimes the emotions are misunderstood or misplaced, and just letting them have movement with sound, right? And sound that's what it does. It's energy and motion.
So good.
So good.
Lovely. Oh, that's really nice. I did quite a bit of art therapy, and that was just so helpful for me. And I think music therapy is less, maybe has less of a forefront, or haven't heard as much about it. So it's so nice to hear more about music therapy and sound therapy too. It sounds like that's something that's, it's the sound. It doesn't necessarily have to be musical, but the sound part of it, just so good.
Totally.
I love it. It's making me think about all these, like, oh yeah, when can I do more of that in my life? And even while you're talking, I'm holding my breath, and okay. So good. Lovely.
Yeah.
Nope, you go.
No, go.
I was going to say, I know you also have you're an artist in your own right as well, and you have some beautiful albums, which I got to pick through on Instagram and pick out some songs, and Spotify as well. So where are other places that people can find your music?
My website is tiffanysparrow.com. That's a great place. And then, I mean, YouTube, / Tiffany Sparrow. Like pretty much if you search Tiffany Sparrow, it's probably, in music, it's probably going to be me. And that's really where, as you were saying before, Shine, where, the performative aspect, and part of why I'm, I so love writing and creating, is that it gives music with the intention of healing, or with the intention of upliftment, or with the intention of naming the hero's journey, if you will. Like a lot of the songs that I write are inspired by some of the work that I've done with people, or just their responses to loss, or their responses to challenge. And so all of my music kind of has that flavor of moving through obstacles, or moving through challenges, or how can you lean into music, be it mantra, or be it a song, to get inspiration to overcome the difficulties, or to embrace the difficulties in different ways. And so that's really been the motivation for the creation. And yeah, so please, if you feel called, please go and check it out. TiffanySparrow.com.
Yay, love it.
Yay,
So
I have a Good Day song in my head.
Yeah, that has yet to be recorded, so.
There you go. Well, now we have a little tiny recording of it here.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
I would love to play together musically one day again. That would be so fun.
Jam,
Yeah,
jam
awesome.
time. Yeah, we got to have a lovely sound healing. Tiffany is not only a gifted guitarist, is that the word, guitar player, but she also plays beautiful crystal bowls as well. So for Shine's birthday last year, we made a little trek across Canada and found Tiffany and the lovely Deanne, who you're going to be hearing from in a moment, and had a wonderful birthday sing-along and sound healing. And so good. I still remember that you were doing a beautiful thing with all the bowls, and it was dark, and the bats were out, and then the train went by, and it was just the chugga chugga and the hoot with the crystal bowls was just so magical. It was really a lovely combination. So yes, all kinds of beautiful music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a magical time, wasn't it?
So good, so good. So we're going to have a little time after all our lovely speakers to do some Q&A. So if you have questions for Tiffany, please hold on to them. And if you do need to pop off and you can't ask them, feel free to leave them in the comments in the chat, and then she might be able to answer them beforehand in text, or we'll be able to answer them verbally in the Q&A in a little bit. So.
Right here.
There you go.
I'd like to just also say that the first song that I did, Be Welcome Here Om Shanti, is the free gift that's being offered as well. So you can go and grab that. And there's a whole body love process that goes along with it too that you can grab. So please go and grab that.
Amazing. Angie will make sure she reshares that link in the chat for all of y'all. And if you can't find it, if you're on one of the lives, please send us a message and we will make sure you get that lovely free gift from beautiful Tiffany Sparrow.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.
It's so good to hear about you.
It's great to connect with you guys. Always. Yeah. So much love.
Okay, moving right along. Do one or the other of you have a desire to be next, or shall we just go ahead?
Let's do Deanne.
What are you feeling, Kathleen? Okay.
Deanne is ready. Yeah.
Sure, I'm ready. And I have a feeling my kids are gonna, start going any minute. So the sooner I get on, probably the better.
Exactly. So we'll chug along. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is Deanne. She's
Hello, everybody.
Amazing human that we have the privilege of. Actually, we connected a long time online, and we actually had the privilege to meet last year when we drove over. We had never met her, and she's like, just come on over to my house. You can stay with me. She's one of those people, I'll throw you guys a party. Just come on down. So it was such a lovely, lovely welcome, and to get to meet you and your lovely family. And we've been really connecting. We had been connecting mostly about Your Holistic Earth, which is Deanne is the co-founder of an amazing, or not co-founder, the founder of an amazing health and wellness company community that she has put huge passion and love and energy into, which I'm sure you'll hear a little bit about. And then also, as she's stepping away from your holistic earth into her wonderful practices, we're going to get to hear about that too. So
Yay.
yeah. So do you want to share a little bit of your why you're in this world, why you're doing what you're doing?
That's the big question. Why am I here? What is the meaning of life? Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Shine and Crystal, for having me here. And Tiffany, it's always such a pleasure to be graced by your presence. And Kathleen, I'm looking forward to hearing from you next. So, you know, this is going to be a long-winded story, but it's an important one. You know, I was born this way. I really was. I was an indigo child, if you will. And some of you on the call are crystal and indigo children, so you understand that. For those of you that don't, I'm just going to encourage you to do some research after Google crystal, indigo, rainbow children.
5 almonds and you'll figure it out.
Eat 5 almonds and you've got it figured out. You'll be right on point. But what happened for me is when I was 5 years old, I had a near-death experience. You guys remember those round Jawbreaker candies? I was eating one of those at home, and my dad said, "Deanne, go sit down before you choke." And I turned to go sit down, and sure enough, I choked. And so my dad came running over, wrapped his arms around me, did the Heimlich. That thing was not going anywhere. And so I went limp in his arms. And I had at that moment an out-of-body experience. So I remember at 5 years old, I remember hovering above. I could see my dad above, my body below. I could see my sister peeking around the corner to see what was the commotion. My mom was running to the phone. I remember it clearly in my mind. And my dad, you know what he did? He used his thumb. You're never supposed to do this, FYI. He used his thumb, and he actually pried in there and popped the Jawbreaker out, and he got me breathing again. So my dad did not give me life once. He gave me life twice. And after that, I started experiencing very lucid dreams. So who was it? Was that you, Kathleen, that talked about your dreams? The other Kathleen, Joelle, I think, with the jewelry, talked about her dreams, and some of them not being very good either. And I would have very frightening dreams, but very lucid dreams, a lot of sleep paralysis and experiences like that as well. And I was raised in a Catholic home. And so I would start to tell mom things. I would start to share some of my experience and some of my knowledge of things that were coming. And, you know, I kind of, my mom was loving and wonderful, but, you know, kind of got tucked away, right? You know, let's put everybody in the box, right? The comfortable box. Anybody know the comfortable box I'm talking about, you know? And so I shut it down. I shut it down for a long time. Ultimately, I ended up becoming an EMT. That was my first medical career. I was an EMT, and I remember feeling the energy of people when they had passed, and I didn't understand it because I had tucked all the things away, of course, to fit in and to be normal. And so fast forward to me being 26, and I have another near-death experience. I'm at home. I just had reconstructive surgery on my knee. I had some sort of reaction to the medication that they gave me. I went unconscious. And in that moment, I was surrounded by these giant orbs of light, folks. They were angels. There is no doubt about it in my mind. And I now speak to people about the angelic presence, the things that we cannot see, because that experience was so profound and eye-opening for me. And I remember when it first happened, you know, I'm mid-20s, right? Like, I'm cool. Like, I can't be talking about woo-woo stuff and angels. Like, I have a career. I'm teaching at a college at this time. And so until I had the courage to tell a girlfriend in my kitchen, I was keeping it pretty hush-hush about this angelic experience of seeing these angels and talking to these angels and all of this, this experience. And my brother-in-law, who had caught me when I went unconscious at home recovering from the surgery, my brother-in-law comes running in, overhears my conversation to my girlfriend, telling her about the angels. And he slams his hand on the counter and he says, "I knew it." He said, I was afraid you had died, and then I felt angels tell me it was okay. And that moment, I actually have goosebumps just talking about it, because that moment was validation. It was like, oh my God, that did happen. And how many of us have had these divine experiences and we disregard it, or we decide, our ego mind comes in and says, you're crazy, you didn't really experience that. And then we shut it down and we put it away. And so I now understand that my passion and that my purpose and how I really allow meaning to be present in my life is being able to show people that they're not alone in their experience, and that these incredible gifts exist. We all have them in different ways, in different degrees. And all it takes is for you to pay more attention, to foster the relationship with those gifts. And so that is essentially what led me to take the Akashic Records. I took the records because I wasn't quite buying it. I came from science. Okay. I was medicine all the way, had spent almost, 15 years in the medical field. And so I can hear this lady says, I can read your soul's library. And I was like, what? Like, what does that mean? And that in essence is the Akashic Records. So I think it was Melanie that asked, like, well, what are they? And really, Akasha is Sanskrit for primordial substance or beginning of time. And so there's an energetic imprint of everything your soul has experienced in life. Isn't that beautiful? There's an energetic imprint. And so what the Akashic Records allows us to do is we go into this higher divine consciousness, if you will, and we access this information. It's like pulling books off the shelf of like, I wonder what my life in 1812 was like. Okay, let me have a look at that. And so it's very profound work, and it goes beyond, past life stuff. It goes into things that can benefit you now. Because I am precognitive, psychic, I also get some future pathways that look really divine for people. But, nonetheless, that was kind of the process and the journey to where I am today. So that was a long-winded why. Did I call it or what?
I love this show.
It was a really good long-winded why. We're all kind of like
what's happening?
Yeah.
I love this show because I'm literally learning things about people that I've never had that conversation with Tiffany. I've never had this conversation with you, even though we've known each other for like years now. So
it's amazing.
Whoa, wow.
So good.
You're profound.
Yeah. I was actually going to joke. I think it was Kira who asked, she's like, so how does one tap into these? And I was actually going to joke and say, you just have to have 2 near-death experiences, get slightly depressed, and then you'll figure it out. But
no biggie,
no biggie.
Throw a divorce in there for good measure.
You do not self-induce a near-death experience. Okay? You don't have to do that. The pathway, that's not the most direct pathway. So
yeah, don't do it with ease and grace. And if you're curious, we have Deanne here who can actually support you in doing it instead of getting to bump along the way like she did. And that's one of my favorite things with Unite that we get to do is find the people that have trailblazed, have been, bumping along in their own journey, have had the hard knocks, and like Tiffany was saying, came through feeling not quite as supported as would be nice, and not as held or understood as could be. And that gives so much drive for us as the trailblazers and as the ones who want to hold space to actually change that narrative and have these things be talked about more, not feel like you're crazy or strange, really know that other people go through this as well and what's going on, and find somebody in some modality that can really support you along your path. So thank you for being one of those people.
So happy to do that. I think that we have a role to allow people to feel safe enough to be who they really are. And, for a long time, I didn't feel safe enough to be who I was. And so part of the work that I do and continue to explore is how can we deepen that relationship and really, truly understand who I am and allow myself to show up fully in that way in every second. Because I'll be honest, I shift into my humanness all the time, right? And so it's about creating that practice, right, of really stepping into that truth for ourselves.
Yeah, well, and with wonderful support beings like you, we've all got a better chance at it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
What does that session look like? Like, how do you tell us?
How do you,
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm actually going to leave everybody a gift so they can actually experience it for themselves. So
Really?
everybody's going to get a free session with me. And that's, you know, I think I really believe in tithing, of giving back as much as possible. And that's part of, you know, what I do as part of, you know, how I choose to do my business. But people absolutely can book time with me too. And so I do a lot of Zoom. I have clients all over the place. We can do by phone. And really, I mean, everything is energy, right? And so there are no boundaries for us. There really isn't in doing this work. And so, yeah, people can experience a little bit of past, present, and future. They can understand themselves. They can create more freedom, more abundance. The Akashic Records is like a master manifester. So if you're desiring to create the life that you want, it's brilliant for that. You can even read the records of a business. Did you know that? You can read the records of a business, of a pet, of a location as well. So they're really infinite, those Akashic records. And so I feel so grateful that I can share that with other people for them to experience that, to dabble in that. So I will be putting that link in the chat if it's not already there. And so you certainly can join me if you wish to experience it for yourself. Yeah.
You're so sweet.
amazing.
Is it kind of like a psychic reading where you are going back and forth a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So mostly I do most of the talking, although the guides will ask questions of you from time to time, depending on what they want you to go through in the experience. But, you know, oftentimes we'll pick up a few past lives. Loved ones will often come for visits as well. So I get lots of loved ones coming in. We talk about tools or things that can maybe benefit you right now, things you might need to tweak and change, health, relationship. The list goes on. We can explore everything. There's nothing off limits in there.
So amazing.
That's so cool.
Oh,
and
so fun.
you do intuitive business coaching as well, which I'm guessing ties in a little bit with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just naturally have been drawn to business. I've had a side business since I was 22, and that was a long time ago. And so I've always been drawn to like dabbling into in the business space. So last year, actually, Your Holistic Earth, you mentioned, I gifted it Willy Wonka style. So we did a contest. There was no gold wrapper in the chocolate bars, but people applied to that, and I ran a contest, and it was such a wonderful gift and so amazing. And the most incredible woman has taken over. And so now it's allowing me to focus more on the spiritual practice, but also on the business side of things, because you know, I've found that a lot of intuitives and healers really struggle with business because we don't think with that part. We just you know, we don't want to do all the things business wise. We don't want to get into the sales piece and all of that. And so I've really focused on creating a very authentic model that feels so enriching and so good. Hence the giving away my time as part of how I've been growing my business. And it's been such a fulfilling venture. So I like to be able to share that with others as much as I can too.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart. And I know you can't see them, but on all our 3 phones here with lives, when all the hearts are coming in for you. Everyone's appreciating your amazing generosity and love. And for everyone who's on a live and not on the Zoom, we will make sure we share the amazing link. When they follow the link, Deanne, is there something they need to do to?
They just need to pick their time. That's it. That's it.
Oh, fun.
I will give you a caveat though. I am booking into July. However, if someone has anything that's really urgent, they can absolutely reach out direct, and my contact should be in that link too. So they can reach me directly and we'll figure something out. But yeah, that's what it's looking like right now.
Amazing. You're so good. You're such a wonderful example of someone who's been so successful in what you've put your hand to, and you've worked so hard to be that way. And when you shifted gears to really follow your heart into this practice of supporting people with the Akashic Records. Like we kind of followed you through that, and when we saw you in August, you were not sure if you were going to give away the company and what you were going to do, and to now see you, and we had a lovely visit with you a month ago, and to see you just kind of like next level, really following your passion and doing what your heart's calling is such a good reminder to it can be hard to step away from something that is doing really well and to know that you're actually stepped into something even more amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you for saying that and sharing that. It is sometimes it takes courage to lead with your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so, but the more I lead with my heart, the more beautiful my life becomes, right? Because I get that ego mind. Thanks, ego mind, I've got this.
Right.
Also known as the itty bitty shitty committee, right? So like, thanks, but I've got this, and take a hike and yeah, you know what? My heart has not let me down.
Oh, so good.
So amazing.
And a word to the wise, if Deanne ever tells you, hey, can I get your address to send you a gift? And are you going to be home to receive the package? Make sure you're home when she tells you, because it might be a very Deanne-sized surprise.
Yeah, I totally showed up at their house.
Across the province to show up.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That was such a good surprise.
So good. I just want to finish with a bit of a quote, because this one was really powerful for me, and it kind of sums up what I teach and what I practice. It's a quote by Michael Bernard Beckwith. Some of you might know him. He's been on Oprah Soul Sundays and The Secret. But this is his quote: "When you believe more in what you don't see than what you do see, you won't see what you do see, and you will see what you don't see." Now, for anybody who's like, you lost me at you do see, I want to just add that this is all about looking at the world through an energetic lens. And when we begin to see the world as energy, we begin to receive information in a different way. And we get really caught up in this three-dimensional space. And of course, we live in it, so it's very easy to do. But the invitation is to watch for the signs, watch for, triple digits and numbers, and watch for animals, and watch for ringing in your ears, watch for deja vu, watch for your dreams, watch for all the things that are constantly showing up. The universe is showing you. It's showing you in every moment of every day. It's showing you something. And so when we are in a place of receiving, then we begin to move into feeling, and we can receive all of the goodness that the universe has to offer. So that's
so good.
Love it.
The other morning I woke up and did my meditation and got into the receiving mode, which Abraham calls it, and just started receiving positive messages for myself. And I love that mode. And then at some point I was like, okay, I think I want to go for a walk, and I rarely go for a walk down to the river where we live. I usually drive, but I was like, oh, I feel like going to the river today. So I walked down to the river, and I'm walking along, and to my right is this ravine, and it's in the forest, and I look, and this eagle, which is like bigger wings than my arms, is coming down and flies by me at eye level. I could like almost touch it, and it just zooms through the ravine like 5 feet from trees and like zooms through the whole, like going like what felt like 100 miles an hour. It just was like, boom, like what just happened? And then the other one was flying above me. I was like, whoa, like that's what happens when you just kind of like, okay, following. And I didn't feel particularly special that day, I guess, but I was obviously in a good enough place to like know to go, and like to be at that time. It was just wild. I've never seen anything.
It's so amazing. Like I know we don't have time, because Kathleen really needs to have an opportunity to speak, but I have another story where it's like miracles happen. I think you guys should do a Unite show where it's like everyone's stories about these like really awesome synchronicities and miracles, because Oh my gosh, I could talk about that stuff all day. I just love it. So yeah, anyway, thanks.
I love that. We'll have one, modern day miracles. We'll have a Unite
Yeah.
show. Woohoo.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Deanne. It was so lovely to hear from
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Another amazing generosity from our dear Deanne. She is actually, and we haven't even announced it yet because we haven't even done the paperwork, but she's going to be the Unite show's first sponsor, which is very exciting.
That's so
So we
exciting.
had
So
this
cool.
conversation last week and we're just working on the documentation, but we're going to have a sponsor for the Unite show. We're so
Which is
grown
pretty
up.
cool.
We're so grown up and proper, aren't we? So we're very excited to continue to support sending people to Deanne and sharing about Deanne and fostering this lovely relationship. And we so love to actually get to dig in and hear from you. And I know we'll have you
Yeah, that was amazing.
back on the Unite show soon.
Amazing. Thank you.
Woohoo.
Wow,
So good.
what a gift.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Get into a whole nother world. And we haven't forgotten, last and definitely not least, our darling Kathleen, who I had the privilege of getting to hear a little bit from last week on our lovely Unite show. And we're so happy to see you and actually get to hear from you and dig in today. So thank you for being here with us.
Oh, thank you so much. You two are so amazing. You walk the talk. You are truly this energy of love. And I just love connecting with you, which is why when you asked, I'm like, yes, just tell me when, where, because you have created this incredible community. And I really just love connecting with you. I really do. And all the people who show up. And did you guys plan this little combo? Because like,
A little bit. Just a little
it's
bit, you know.
clearly serendipity, because I had no idea that Tiffany and Deanne knew each other. And then when you guys, I'm going to try and keep my story super short, but I mean, Deanne, like, we'll talk because
Oh, my favorite.
because I come from this whole world of science.
The
And
Jewish New York mom voice is always
so, and thank you. Oh my God, Tiffany, your music, so beautiful. And I am really looking forward to experiencing your, what was it, love, body, soul process?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and your music's
so
just
amazing.
beautiful. So thank you. I wanted to just open with that. And really, I think you had asked my why, and I will go straight to it. And what immediately popped to me of why, I mean, the current label is that I practice Vedic astrology or Jyotisha, which the translation is the eye of the Veda, which shines a light on our path. It is not me. It is energy coming through me, shining light on your path. I get to be I get to have the honor of being present in your process. And the two things that pop up for me when I'm asked why is because it is such an honor and a gift, and it gives back to me when I am there for others. And the thing that happens time and again that I feel so blessed to witness is that very often in sessions, when I look at a chart, the moment of someone's birth and how Vedic astrology uses it, it is very often this, because everything is energy and we are energy, Vedic astrology allows us to see the patterns of consciousness. So patterns of previous lifetimes of patterns. And we could say that when we have a really deeply ingrained belief or a deeply ingrained pattern, those could be things we're really good at or things that we've continued to believe. You could say, if you imagine a rock or a boulder, that's a deep ingrainment, right? It's a cutout of the boulder. And as we return to the stories and learn how to be with who we are beyond this package, this skin, this label that we continue to sometimes temporarily believe, those lines can actually slowly be erased, and that we can become pure more and more and more purely our individual enlightened self. Like we still have a personality when we're enlightened, right? We're all supposed to have lots of different flavors of who we are. These packets of who we are divine and beautiful. And this is a way of enjoying the energies of the world as we are manifest. And so one of the joys I get to receive is witnessing that I see patterns of story. And pretty quickly, as I describe to someone the gift that they actually are, the gifts that they actually have, and what they are here to share, or maybe a belief pattern that they've had, I can see where it's actually been keeping them stuck. And in essence, when I name it, it's usually the very thing that allows them to believe the expansive story of who they are, of what that gift really is, of what they receive from the old version of the story, because it served a purpose. And they are immediately able to identify with what it's really about, which is their much more expansive self on their purpose, and also loosening those ties. And so releasing those attachments. So that's the joy I have, and it gives back to me. And it just so happens that because I also, was a practicing acupuncturist, that I bring a lot of that entrepreneurial view, which, if we talk about conscious calendars, there's this beautiful joy that I get in helping people reduce the amount of time and energy they spend on where the energy is not for them. Because I tell it to you like it is. And so people can come with, like, oh, I'd like to open that tea shop. Well, okay, maybe when you're 80. Or, depending on the timing. That's what's amazing is Vedic astrology can literally show the timing. Our lives are not linear, right? Some of us are not meant to retire or be semi-retired our whole lives. Some people retire and then they turn around and start doing all of these other things. Like, it's completely different for every single person. And it is such a joy to be able to look and go, oh, there's this version. So that's what gives back to me. And I didn't go into my story at all, but I can share a little bit about my background. But I just want to make sure we do a little back and forth, and because it's a gift to me to be able to do this.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. I love when I met you through Dolan, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he was saying that, they use it in Apple and other companies for choosing launch days. They'll look at the charts of what's the energy of that day. And the way that I understand the conscious calendars, which is one of the things that you use Vedic astrology for, it's like a product you've created, is that it's kind of like giving the weather report of that day. But instead of rain or sun, it's is the energy very high and abundant, where you're going to get a lot of extra sort of energy from whatever, the cosmos, or is it a little bit lower and it might be a day for more introverted
red
chill
days.
time.
The red days.
Right, the universe is on its
self-nourished day.
Exactly. The bed days, the red days.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, please tell us more about your story or about the conscious calendars, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, one thing I always forget to mention is that I was almost born in Taiwan. And I think as a result of this experience, we went, and I was born during the Vietnam War. So we actually went in '66 to Taiwan and had the blessing of being in a home and getting all of this incredible connection with the local, the true culture. We were not on the base. And so being immersed in that and having Taiwanese and Mandarin and English spoken to me, they actually said that I'm very talkative, but they said I didn't speak for 2.5 years until we came back to the United States. I was immersed in all of this language. I actually had the equivalent of 4 mothers. So I have this incredible experience of being immersed in another culture as my first experience on this planet. And I think it changed how I receive information. I absolutely love language. And to me, Vedic astrology is this other language. And because I come from a long line of doctors, it was kind of destined that I was going to be the family doctor. And one of the ways I bonded with my father was through science. So I was on that path and got a degree in biochemistry. I actually went to medical school. I was just going to jump through that hoop do that. And then when I was in my freshman year of college, I said, oh, that's what I'm going to do. When we came across Chinese philosophy, I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. I didn't even know it was called acupuncture. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I just knew. And so I immediately, upon graduating, finishing medical school actually, or finishing that year, was doing research and other things like that, and saw an ad. Like, this is this thing that I'm kind of bringing up about the messages, right? Like, I feel like what Deanne's sharing and what Tiffany's been sharing is that this is about a listening, that we all have the ability to listen. And when there's something jumps or sparks, and sometimes, I was going to finish with this, but sometimes what I find is I forget that not everyone has allowed themselves to just swim in that. Like, I constantly am just like, oh, why is this even in my hand as I'm walking out the door? And it's just there. And it's because, unbeknownst to me, I'm going to run into someone within less than 24 hours who needs exactly that. And I've just learned to just listen to that. So I'm interjecting that in here because what I really wanted to share is not so much about my story or conscious calendars. I can give a little bit about that, is that we are on the verge of an eclipse. We're 12 hours from a total lunar eclipse. Oh. And one of the gifts I wanted to share with everyone is that there are 4 to 6 of those days every single year. And these are actually, how I'm going to share it is that it is a cosmic window, but I do not share, and Vedic astrology does not share very firmly, that it's not a time to anchor things in the world. These are portals in times that are for us and our spiritual practices. They are deep times to withdraw from the world, and that when we do something or don't do something on an eclipse day, that would be today, Tuesday and Wednesday. It just so happens it's May 25th and 26th, and I'll give you the exact times of the eclipse here too. But what I want you to take from this, no matter when you're listening to the replay, is that 4 to 6 times a year, you have this golden opportunity to up-level your personal routines and your spiritual practices by withdrawing from the world. And even if it's only for 20 minutes at the peak of the eclipse time or at the end of that eclipse day, it doesn't matter. But when you actually choose something on that day that is difficult to choose, when you go against the force or the desire pathway, which is, oh, it's really easy for me not to do my daily walk, or it's really easy for me to grab that thing in the supermarket and maybe take it home. If I 2 days or 1 day before being in the grocery store know that the eclipse is coming up and say, oh, just for this one moment, I will say no, then it is actually magnifying, we're talking 100,000-fold, reversing karmic patterns. When we say no in these windows to things that have a pull on us, we actually are up-leveling our spiritual discipline. So when we say yes to meditating, even if it's for 5 minutes, you are creating the pathway, but it's actually that you're saying no to the thing that you would naturally wander into. And you're building discipline and literally spiritual strength. And with that, you are soaring on your pathway. And in the pragmatic sense, trust me, you can up-level your life every 6 months. You get 2 eclipses every 6 months. And that's the really cool jam. Those happen to be called mega red days in the conscious calendar system, because I called it that before everyone in Fortune magazine and your news channel was talking about the eclipses.
All the way.
So
wow.
I called them mega red days because I wanted to give the big, listen to this. And again, not to create any kind of fear around them, but that these are big portals of energy to use for you, for your practices. And it just so happens tomorrow, so it's Tuesday right now, but on the 26th at 1:11 a.m. Eastern time, 4:11 a.m. Pacific time is the absolute peak of the total lunar eclipse. So in that moment, if you are meditating, if you are We could say it, we sometimes call it declaring a vow, but that's why it was perfect what Tiffany shared today. What was it in Tiffany's song? You know, even if I've broken 1,000 vows, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. And so it's in this moment that you can actually make a heartfelt vow of just saying, I will listen to thee on my path. I will be there. It's not about saying you'll do this or that kind of vow. Yeah, it's a deeper, heartfelt thing. So to listen to what comes up in that moment and then let it go, and then let it go. And what is so beautiful is that you will notice for 6 months that you will get closer and closer and closer to that. And then you get another chance 6 months later. Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh, good. I've been playing with my diet.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. I've been playing with my diet and just cleaning it up and just, you know, up leveling. And then yesterday, a friend came over randomly and was like, "Oh, I've been doing this thing, fasting every day, like one day on, one day off." I was like, "Oh, I want to do that." And yesterday I did lots of green juices, and then today I'm just doing water. And then I'm like, "Oh, this is probably a really good day to fast and rest." And I've been meditating and like really getting into my like the peak of my practice. So I was like, "Oh, good job, higher self."
Yeah.
Guiding me to the right time. I love that.
So good.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'll do a little testimonial to the conscious calendars. I've been my ex-partner, my kid's dad. I don't even know. I need to find out how he started following them, but I've been following them at least 10 years. I think that quite a long time ago. And we have it synced into our Google Calendar, and I don't religiously as much anymore read it every month, but I used to find it so supportive. I was going through a lot of turbulent time, and there would just be days when I'm just like, what is going on? Am I crazy? Nothing's working. Everything's hard. Everything felt confusing. And it would be so nice. Sometimes I'd miss like the launch, when the calendar came out and I'd go back through my emails and I would read it and then be like, today this is going to feel like hard, and this, and I'm like, oh, thank you, I'm not crazy, not just me. And I used to love how for me astrology before conscious calendars was newspaper horoscopes. And the bit my mom had talked about before her and my dad got married, and that was kind of, for me, like I was, you know, she'd done our charts and I was like, ah, yeah, it's whatever, but it had no meaning for me. And I loved the conscious calendars and the way you would get into business, you would get into health, you would get into relationships, and actually write out a little thing for the days with, you know, read through, like in relationships, this is going to be a good day. This might be a little bit of a tough day. This might be a sticky day. You know, don't make any big business decisions probably on this day. And I used to find that so helpful, just to feel like, and that's before I didn't have a very strong sense of intuition or self, or I trusted in karma, but that was about it. So I didn't really think that I knew much. It was much more, you know, other people are smart and I don't really know lots. And I always was looking to other people to tell me what to do. And it was such a lovely intro into my own intuition. I was kind of like, oh, conscious calendars will tell me, but actually I found I already knew and I already had a sense of it, but I was giving myself permission to acknowledge that I had been picking up on that. And it was such a lovely introduction for me into the whole world of astrology, and to see its really profound value on all areas of my life, not just kind of big life decisions or spiritual things, but even to have it broken down day by day. You've just done such a lovely job. Again, I feel like all y'all lovely presenters tonight have done such a lovely job of taking something. You're not inventing this thing, it's not new, but you're bringing it with such a beautiful interpretation and presentation to make it so accessible to everybody. And that's so much for Shine and I and Unite. It's really our goal and our desire and our life's passion to be that bridge between what is already known and the ancient ways of doing things and all this forgotten knowledge and kind of the mainstream and the modern and where a lot of us are living now, and to create softenings of those two worlds and bring them closer together. And I feel like you three are such lovely examples of bringing that softening and easing and reintroduction for us in a modern way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So good. Damn it.
Yes.
I love exactly how you shared
Whispering
that.
So good. Was that you, Kathleen? So good. So good.
Thanks for holding the space for it and gathering it. Really, I admire hubs of all sorts and heart-centered, if I can call you that, but thanks for holding space.
Sure. Kathleen, is there anything you wanna share before we wrap up and get to some question and answer?
No, I just wanted to totally thank Crystal. That is such a great description, because that's really the intention. I think the only qualifier was what you were describing is those newspaper horoscopes. Those are specific to individuals according to a sun sign. This is the energy of the day that's between people, that's available to all of us. It's between our hearts, is how I see it. This is the energy that's available to all of us, and we all can hear it, and we can all feel it and listen. And the calendars are really to be this sort of this cosmic tool of how to bring us closer and to validate people who are developing their intuition. But also the kind of cool thing is, because I do it in advance, you can look a year in advance and go, okay, when's the green day a year from now? And so that's the kind of cool part, is like, yes, you can it adds that extra kind of qualifier that I could have that intuition and do it just fine, but I'm still going to look at the calendar.
Exactly. We actually, when we were hosting live events, we would always look for the green days and always did our best. We never hosted on a red day. Sometimes the time we needed would end up on a yellow day, but we always were hunting for the green days, especially if we had a choice between days where I was like, where's the green day? Where's the green day? Because we knew we wanted people to be excited and alive and connected and show up. And a red day is nice for a meditation event, but you might more want to stay inside. So yeah, it really is such a valuable tool. And yeah.
And
so
people
good.
can also get one-on-one readings with you, right?
Yes, they can. Exactly. But the gift is that people can get the free calendar. And I'm actually on the verge of only offering free calendars at events like this. So I, really want to make sure that people can get access and test it and test your intuition. That's really what it's for, right?
Amazing.
You've got the ability already.
So for everyone who's tuning in on one of the lives, the links will be shared. If you don't find the link or don't see the link, please do reach out. Highly recommend getting your conscious calendar synced up to your phone and your Google Calendar. It's so helpful and such a gift. So thank you.
Yeah.
Woo. Oh, you've muted yourself, darling.
Thank you for creating this space for us to come together. Oh my God, Tiffany and Deanne, you are incredible. And this community is so beautiful.
So good. I do apologize to anyone who does need to rush off, because we did say till 7:30. We don't have to go anywhere, so we would still love to hold space for a Q&A. I'm sorry we didn't leave enough time for that in the hour and a half. I was just so enthralled, and you guys were so juicy. I didn't want to shorten.
I think we're going to move it for 6 to 8, and then it can be infinity if we need to.
Exactly. So I think really we're a little bit advanced in the future of our scheduling. So actually this event does go to 8 o'clock. So thank you for being here. So for anyone who, if you lovely three are able to stick around, that's amazing. If you do have to rush off, we will make sure we get questions and answers back and forth so that we can, everyone can have a chance to be heard. But if anyone has any questions now, I see there's still all three here and no one's rushing off. So
yeah. And what you can do is you can raise your hand in the reactions.
Yeah.
Or just unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever's easier.
Yeah. And yeah, there you go. Melanie, go.
Hi. Wonderful presenters. Thank you very much. And sharing stories. Shine and Crystal as well. So my question's for Kathleen. Can you just remind me what you said the eclipse time was for Eastern Pacific, please? Oh, you're muted, Kathleen.
The peak eclipse time
Yes.
is at 1:11 Eastern time, AM, 1:11 AM, that's the peak. And the whole total lunar eclipse takes about a little over 3 hours. So it begins about an hour and a half, roughly before that, and will continue about an hour and a half after that.
Nice. And that's for
4 p.m.
Eastern time.
for 4 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, 4:11 a.m. Pacific time and 1:11 a.m. Eastern time is the peak energy. Exactly.
I'm
And
Yeah.
I usually stay up late.
That might happen when we're sleeping. Okay.
Exactly. But we can charge up right before.
You'll be in meditation.
exactly, right.
We're in meditation.
And
Meditate before bed, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
one mantra that I was suggesting for this specific eclipse is because the energy is actually in Scorpio. And when K2, one of the eclipse energies, is in Scorpio, it can sometimes bring up not fear directly, but sometimes that insecurity about, oh, am I on the path? Or things feel like they're about to change or something like that. April and May have been very full. And so this is a perfect time to pause and actually know that you are on the path. And the Tara mantra, Om Tare, Tu Tare, Chure, Soha. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Chure, Soha. One more. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Chure, Soha. That's Green Tara. She brings in courage. I caught that Deanne used that word, I think, courage. Yeah. And so I just wanted to, that was the one big share I wanted to give, was to at least give that mantra that it creates rainbows, it opens things up, it clears blockages. So you could say that mantra before going to sleep or upon waking, and she will immediately come and give you both protection and clear your path and maybe bring rainbows.
There's a really lovely piece of music called Praises for the World. I forget the name of the artist, but they have a part where they sing that mantra, and it's just one of my favorites. And I'll put the link. I don't want to do it now because we don't have any devices that I can use, but I'll put it in the, if you go to Unite page and then you see the live video, I'll put it in a comment under there, and it's just divine. It's like a whole hour and a half of this chant. And then there's different artists who do their take on it. And one of them is the Om Tare, Tu Tare, Chure, Soha mantra. And it's just the best. So
Sounds like a good thing to fall asleep to tonight.
exactly. Yeah. I was thinking just throw it on before bed. Giddy up.
So good.
Amazing.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Curtis.
You have
sorry.
your hand up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Away you go, Curtis.
Curtis.
I sure do. I'm just trying to lower my hand as I'm speaking, and it's turning out to be a walk and chew bubblegum kind of endeavor. But I pulled it off. My question is also for Kathleen W. Can you talk about ritual and making those decisions during this eclipse time, and how that can give us an increase in spiritual energy for the next 6 months?
Yes.
I have a friend who messaged me about like this before we jumped on the call, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do anything. She's like, I'm preparing all my rituals and I'm just getting ready. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm intuitively kind of figured it was time to just like throttle down. I don't think I'm gonna do anything, but I'm gonna like focus my energy, and I'll be like, my presence and my energy is gonna be with you while you go through yours. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet. And now I'm like listening to you talk about it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna miss that train.
Cool. And you don't have to do it at that exact time. I was giving it because everybody always asks what the time is, you know. What's beautiful is you can use tomorrow. So either, you know, listen to some music or stretch a little, chill before bed. The main thing is I recommend choosing one thing your first time you do this. If you really want to go super advanced, you could pick, you know, 3 things. but it doesn't have to be a ritual. What you get to choose is, what is that thing that you want to perhaps sustain for 6 months? Is it going for a little walk? Is it trying to meditate for 10 minutes? Is it not eating a certain food? And just focus on that one thing for all of tomorrow, Wednesday, or whatever that eclipse day is, because it's got to do with the energy that the sun is rising on that day. And it's giving that the auspices for that. So when you make that choice, so whether you join in a ritual or even awake at that time, when you wake, that is the opportunity to say, what am I choosing first thing? Or what am I choosing in that day that will perhaps become part of a routine? So is it, do you make your bed? Do you do sun salutation once? Do you take water and bless it before drinking? Keep it super simple. But it could just be one thing that then becomes that super easy thing that is with you. And then if you choose to make that a commitment, then great, give yourself all day, every single day to do that one thing. So if it's the, oh, I drank water all day and I forgot to bless it before, and you're going to bed, fine, bless it and drink. Just choose that one thing. And that way you're creating that consistency. And it's an easy way to use these energies. And then and guess what? And in 2 weeks, we have a partial solar eclipse. So you get another chance. So then you would do your one thing, and then maybe a second thing if you want to up level it or just maintain. And then in 6 months, maybe you do 2 things. And so you can see with time how this can then become easier and easier to not add more things, but rather be swimming in the things that support you.
I'm so excited that you're sharing this with me. And when you said swimming in, I could feel my consciousness do a like, oh yeah, this feels right. And so I'm just really grateful. Like, the timing couldn't be more incredible that my friend sent me this like block of text about what's happening, like 2 blocks of text. And I was like, man, that's cool. Not for me though. I don't have enough time to get educated and find out what this is. And then here on the Unite show, bang, here you are. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to go today, but maybe I will. I'd rather be out moving. And now I just have this inspiration to plan like my perfect day and have my perfect day tomorrow, the day that I've wanted to have for the last year, and plan it and do it and just experience what that's like in this solar energy. And I feel so blessed and grateful to be on this call. Thank you.
Woohoo.
Nice one.
So good.
Who's next? Get them while they're hot.
They'll be hot forever, I think. Well, this is definitely Woo! There you go. We had 2 live phones go down at once. And there we are, one back up. The energy is moving, apparently.
Keep that fail.
Right? Oh, so funny. Well, if no one has any particular questions, don't you worry, child. We're more than happy to share a little bit about Unite and what we've been up to. Normally we leave a little space for that, and I know we're kind of leaving it to the end here, but this is for us part of what has brought, and if you have a question, feel free to put your hand up, and otherwise I'll just ramble on here for a minute. So what Shine and I have been up to for the last little bit is we're creating a health and wellness community connection platform for our community. So this is doing exactly what we're doing here. A big call was, of course, with COVID, we're not able to host our in-person events anymore. Shine and I were big into the events for many, many years, bringing the community together. Like I said earlier, doing our best to be a bridge between entrepreneurs and the spiritual world and really support our community in all the ways we knew how. And now we have transitioned to our platform that we're really excited to be birthing. It's still in its beta, so give it lots of extra love. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can go to www.unite.love and you can find us there. We're still working on building out all the components. We're really in test mode right now. So we're building what we feel like we would love to see in the world, and we hope you all want to see too. And everything on there is in its first forms. So things like that, we have vision boards, lots of amazing mindfulness tools on there. So we've got vision boards right now. It's quite a basic space where you can just tag a post as a vision board and see it in one area. But in the future, we have many big visions for what it will actually look like, something much more like Pinterest. So don't write it off on its infancy. We do hope that you can see all the intentionality that we have put into the site, that we have put into the features. Shine over the last 5 years has really taught me how to go with my intuition, how to stop and vision things out. So we've spent so much time with this site, planning and putting in everything, all of ourselves and all the things that we've heard about from the community that you guys would love to see, and all the ways that we feel like we can best support everyone. So that's what Unite is right now. Currently, it looks a little bit like Facebook. It's got a love feed. Everything is love themed, of course, because for us, it really does come down to happiness and upliftment, and love. That's our strongest tool and our greatest magic, I think. So we're really everything from all the little icons. When you follow someone, you get 2 little blue hearts following each other. So we've designed all those little pieces. When you write a message, when you make a post, you say spread the love is what we're saying, instead of what's on your mind, which is what Facebook says. So yeah, so we have been creating this magic. We would love to see you there. Part of what these calls that the Unite Show actually developed from our beta test community that we started in February, when we first invited people to come look at our baby and try it out. And what we found is one of our favorite things about the beta test group was, after a year of not hosting events, we were so excited to actually see people and get to talk to them and get to connect with all you guys. And find out how we could support and what you guys were looking for. We love to connect, especially Shine. That's one of our great joys, is to put the pieces together. So when you're looking for this and you have this, we're just so blessed to be the bridge in the middle. So it's really been such a fun thing for us to get to build a platform where eventually we see it getting to be like Airbnb, where you go on and you say, I'm looking for this, and then here we have it and we make the connection, except for your health and wellness. So you might say, oh, I'm looking for someone who knows about Akashic records, and you would get, oh, well, Deanne knows. And you would get, oh, we're looking for something with Vedic astrology and conscious calendars. I don't know what that thing is. Oh, look, Kathleen knows. Or, I'm so excited to learn more about music and sound and how that supports. And then you would get Tiffany and her work recommended. So we do that right now in the community, and we're so excited to be building something that is going to automate that a little bit. Not that we want to step away from that role, because that is our favorite, but so we can have more of an impact and support more people in actually making those really supportive, valuable connections. And like I was saying earlier, so when we're in our struggle, when we're in our pieces where we feel like we've got to trailblaze through and struggle on our own, and to know that there is a community out there that believes in you, that has been through something similar. We've actually got one feature. I know I'm talking a lot now. We've got one feature actually called Success Stories, and you can actually make a post where anything from, I had cavities and I used this serum and now my cavities are healed, like an experience Shine had, to, I had a near-death experience and I saw angels, and, I'm still alive to tell about it. So to really give people the sense that they're not alone, that we all have different journeys and different processes, and that some of us have done a lot of the work and the legwork to figure things out and to actually be able to share that success. and give other people the hope and if you come on and you say, I'm really struggling with this piece, and you see a success story where someone says, yeah, I was where you were and I did this and it helped me, here, you can try it too. And I think that's just, yeah, that's going to be really, really exciting for us to, in a really wonderful way, to be like these lovely ladies have been, to be shining a little bit more light on things that maybe are more forgotten knowledge that we all share and can benefit from. So yeah, there's a little bit of a long-winded rant about Unite. Thank you, everyone. Aw, you guys are all so sweet. All the clapping hands. Yay, Unite.
Yay.
Shine, do you want to give? We have a couple exciting actually updates this week. It's been a very active week on the site.
Angie, can you make screen sharing open?
Oh, Shine's going to take us on a little tour of the actual site here. It's been such a good week. Our developers have done some beautiful work for us. For me, working with this team of developers is the closest thing I've come to instant manifestation, like actually instant manifestation with a group where we have an idea, we share the vision with these people, and they're amazing. And some of them are in India, so sometimes literally the next morning, so they've been working all our night, we'll wake up and they have created magic and brought our vision to life. So
can you guys see Unite? Is this working?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this is the first bit that we built recently, where when you log on, it asks you how you're feeling, and you can pick the face that feels most like you, and then you click it and it goes away, and then you can scroll through and say like, oh, I really love that post, and that feels the same or better. And then if you see something that's maybe when you're like, oh, I hate cryptocurrency, and you can click there. And the goal is not to rate the post, so no one else can see this, but it's for you to just be able to track how you're feeling, and then also for us to get the data that some posts might be great for people who are feeling sad to help them feel a bit better, but some posts maybe not. Maybe if you're feeling angry, they'll make you feel angrier or whatever. And so it's kind of like a fun game to figure out what posts are going to affect what people in what states. And of course, it's not going to be one size fits all, but it'll be a fun game to start, and that'll sort of maybe be the core algorithm for the site, so that there's always an intention of just helping people feel better wherever they're at, and creating their love feed to uplift them and to give more joy. So
yeah, so mindfulness, like I said a little bit earlier, is something that we really wanted to bring to social media, and we've kind of gone back and forth with the spiritual community, because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, like social media and technology, we need to just get off of it and get back to nature and connecting with ourselves. And me personally, I love technology, I love social media, I love getting to connect in this way, and I also of course love, in person and real life as well. And so we really felt strongly that we could use social media as a really powerful tool to support, to connect, to inspire, and also to bring some mindfulness into our social media experience. So bringing about with these check-ins a little bit of awareness that you are actually the only one that can affect and change your state, and something, like this sweet puppy with butterflies on its head might make you go like, oh, but if you come on to the site and you're feeling really bad and you're like, oh, this is just, oh, it's not helping, it's not making me feel like that, you're actually perceiving things based on your current state. And then we're going to have all kinds of tools and supports and eventually reminders and things that you'll be able to program yourself to say things like, hey, Crystal, I noticed you've been on social media for half an hour and you haven't stood up, you haven't stretched, you haven't drunk any water. Why don't you take a little 5-minute break, or whatever it is that is supportive for you? So we're really excited to bring those kind of mindfulness supports into the site. Like Shine said, the happy check-ins are for your personal state. They're so new, they actually got launched on Monday, yesterday. So they're still in the bug working out process. I know, right? And actually Angie here, who's on the call, give a wave, Angie. Angie and myself designed the happy check-ins. So she's
helped.
Shine helped as well. Shine pulls the intuitive, I like this fit, I like this fit, I like this fit. Crystal mashes them together and Angie makes them actually look good. So we're a great collaboration and a really good team together. So yeah, that's the happy check-ins. What was I gonna say?
We'll be launching the Love Stream in a minute, like maybe a month or less. And so all the Unite shows are gonna actually happen on Unite. So we'll be able to have a Zoom like this, but it'll be all through Unite. So you'll be able to log on, and we've actually built our tech team, amazing tech team, has built the app. And so everyone is going to be able to have their app on their phone and get notifications and stay logged in and all that stuff. It'll still use the mobile browser for everything, but it's the start. And so yeah, those two things are happening in the app probably in a week, and then the Love Stream within a month, I think.
Yeah, and the marketplace as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we really, like I said, and Shine contradicts me because he feels like we're further along. But for me, compared to where we want the site to be, I consider this like the cement platform with the rebar sticking out of it. Like maybe it's got some rough framing, but it's really
just the beginning.
It's really just the beginning, and it's so exciting for us to really see this vision coming together. And we really do see it in its entirety being Facebook meets Instagram meets Airbnb meets Groupon meets TikTok meets Clubhouse. Like really, we're taking the best of everything that we use on social media and we're combining it together. So it will be a long and ever evolving process, but we're so excited to be able to offer this. I think Shine was sharing a couple days ago, we were talking with someone in our community, actually on our call, not last week, the week before, who's doing land and doing community on land. And that's such a dear heart passion for so many of us to live in community on land. That's Scott Kelly, if anybody is interested in their project, it's amazing. And we were talking about how exciting, and we talked to them, and I think they were just about ready to put the money down for the land, which is so exciting and so fun to realize that all these dreams that we've been collectively dreaming for so long about new social media platform just for our tribe and living on land, and that we're actually all doing these pieces together. So yeah, it feels pretty exciting for us to be able to share that with you guys and to be actually creating this and birthing this into the world. So yeah.
And we just got word that the restrictions are easing in BC, so we'll be able to have small events now and 50 people outside and all that fun stuff. So super excited for that to unfold and have our community getting back together, because we miss everyone.
We do.
Yeah, it's so fun. Does anyone have any questions for anyone, or just something they want to share? Feel free to unmute yourself or put your hand up or whatever's easier.
I'll just keep chatting.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go.
Hi again. So I've been quiet on Facebook, and it seems like you guys have this most Tuesdays. Is that right?
It's going to be every Wednesday moving forward.
We're actually, we're moving to Wednesday.
Yeah. Next Wednesday is all about how can we use cryptocurrency and blockchain technology for good.
It's called Crypto for Good.
Like what is it? And then how is it going to impact our lives in a really great way?
Yeah.
And then the next week after that is all about health and creating a new style of healthcare system. We have a doctor coming on, and then I'm someone who's been deep into that world for a long time and is creating apps and technology around that. So it's going to be a fun conversation all about health and wellness and the evolution of that. So that's on June 2nd, and June 9th is the health one. Yeah,
so if anybody tuning in would like to be featured on the Unite show or knows someone who should be on the Unite show, please do reach out to us. I think it was Kathleen was saying, oh, what a fun coincidence or fun happening that you three ladies are on all at once. And of course, I know you're doing it in jest because there's no such thing. And that we beautifully downloaded it, and especially Shine does a really good job. We actually have a board with all the people we want on the Unite show, including Oprah and lots of amazing people. And as they are, real in our life right now or not yet, we keep, placing you guys together in lovely combinations. We had a lovely channeling time last week, which was so fun as well. So yeah, it was so amazing, so good. So we really are. We'd love to hear from you what you would like to learn more about, what you'd love to hear more about as well. And we can craft a Unite show specifically for that. Next week, the crypto, we're going to do a bit more of a panel style where it's actually all guys. So any crypto women in our community, we'd love to hear from you. I mean, not that these guys aren't amazing, but it is for lovely crypto guys. And they're going to be, just really helping bring some consciousness and awareness to the crypto world with us. So
Jen, you gotta go? Oh no, not yet.
no. Yay.
Ready for sleep.
Yeah.
Thank you. So are we able to contact you? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Leanne. Oh, I just want to finish up. So if we have any questions or comments or want to collab with you, is it through Facebook messages best?
That's the best.
That's the best.
Okay. Because you haven't officially launched your website that you showed us, right?
Oh yeah,
we
it's
have.
launched.
You can.
Oh,
go-
it is launched. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's still, it's a baby, so it's got little things, and we so appreciate you going on there. We don't take, well, Shine doesn't take it personally. I'm working on that. We really do appreciate your perspective, what worked for you, what was confusing, what took you a minute to figure out, because I mean, that's the super fun part, is we are totally tweaking it, changing it. This feels weird. I can't quite understand that. I had no idea, of course. And, the same as for the moms out there and the parents out there, who stepped into parenthood, you have no idea what you're doing until you get into it. And you're like, oh, I had no idea. And now I'm here. And I feel like the platform has been exactly the same for me. Just, I had no idea what would go into and how what you're seeing, what you'll see on unite.love is a year worth of full-time actually like building. And it's, of course, a lifetime of visioning and planning, but it's there's a lot that goes into it, and every click, and what happens when you click here, and what does it affect, and what's the programming behind it, and how does it change. So yeah, it is live. It is able for anyone to go on and use. You can create a business profile or a personal profile, and yeah, come explore and play and share and connect, and so fun.
David Jeep on the Instagram or Facebook Live says, "What does the lion represent to both of you?" And I mean, I just like it. It's actually our friend Jordan's.
We like the
picture.
painting. Yeah, it's we don't enjoy community just online and at our events, but we actually live collectively in a community house. So we're always sharing our home with many different people. And throughout the years, I've probably lived with a couple hundred. And since I met, that's over 10 years in Shine, I pulled him. Actually, he was part of a collective. He started a collective in Vancouver as well. And so we collectively have lived with many people, and Jordan was one. And one of the lovely things about living with many people is sometimes when they come and go, they leave things behind. And the lion he had attracted from somewhere, and he was really resonating with the Leo lion archetype, and he wasn't able to take it with him. So we adopted the lion, and it's been kind of our mascot in our office ever since. So, and
we have a giant stuffed lion that got given to us as well.
Exactly, yeah. So the house is full of guardians and protectors. But yeah, I'm not sure what other meaning we can have for it.
Good night, Jen. Oh, Kathleen. Good night, Kathleen.
Good night, Kathleen.
Yay. So yeah, anything else before we finish up?
It's been such a treat to every Unite show every week. I'm always, and this was the same before event day, I'm kind of like, okay, like it's a thing and got to get ready. And it seems like a lot of work. And I'm like, what are we doing this for again? And then every time we're in it, I'm like, oh, it's so good. And afterwards, Shine and I are both like buzzing and full of ideas and everything. So yeah, it's just such a thank you for being part of our manifestation of supporting community, building community, connecting, and
Bye,
so
Kathleen.
appreciate you all. Bye, Kathleen.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, and thank you so
much
much.
for creating the space, you guys.
Yeah, it was so fun. Thank you, Tiffany and Deanne. And
Yeah.
what a good one. This was good.
So juicy.
I like it.
I feel like we're all gonna go like be totally. I feel like we're all like intuition, permission,
Crystals under the moon and
right.
Uh-huh.
Checking out our synchronicities and trusting our intuition and lining everything up.
I'd love to chat to Tara if people are open for that.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Getting ready for the eclipse energy, right, everyone?
Exactly. Thank you, Tiffany, for sharing that with us.
Got my little hand pan here. You can't really see it, but
we can hear it.
So Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. 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 Om Tara. Om Tara. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. 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 Om Tara. Om Tara. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Tara. Thanks for having me, everybody. Thanks for being here.
So good. Thanks for tuning into the closing song. I completely forgot. It was a perfect one.
Pleasure.
Oh, lovely.
What a gift. It's so nice. It feels so connected every time we do this. And it's all through technology. And like, what a cool thing.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah.
Soon we'll all be like, okay, I'm gonna go into lucid meditation. See you in the Akashic realms. If that's even a place.
Energy knows no time and space, right? So.
Yeah. An amazing book called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. And it's a woman who channels her brother. He died like recently, and she receives him as he's going through the death process, and he walks her through the entire journey, and it's stunning. Like I feel like I like almost went out of my body when I was reading it, and it's half channeled, half not, and I didn't even read the not channeled parts. I just went through all the italic and just read the channel parts, and I was just like flying high. And one of our visions one day is to create our own media company. We've already got the name Imaginal Entertainment. And so I want to one day like make that movie.
Yeah.
Or have someone else can do it too, but that'll be fun. Yeah.
Love it.
Mhm.
Woo. Thank
Love
you,
you
thank
all.
you, thank you. Bye, Melanie. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here with us.
so much. Oh, Tiffany, that was beautiful.
Yes.
It was wonderful to hear you and the way you speak and speak to the flows of the universe. It was really wonderful, Kathleen.
So juicy.
Have a great night, everyone. I've got to
Good
log
job,
off
you guys.
here.
What a fun show.
Thank you, thank you.
If you want the, I don't know how much different the quality will be, but you can always download the Unite Facebook page will have this Zoom video, like in this definition. And then if you want, if it's not the best quality, we can send you like the downloaded version if you want to use it.
It'll be on YouTube too.
And it'll be on YouTube as well. Yeah.
Woo. Yeah. Woohoo.
So good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen and Jan. What a gift. This was so fun.
Thank you again. Yes.
What a nice time.
So fun.
Aw.
Good night. Deep,
Good night.
sweet dreams, and
I
may
know.
ever supposed to happen, right?
This is it. What a good day to do this.
Right?
So funny. I
So
love
good.
it. It was great. Good job, everyone.
Good downloads, good
Yeah.
synchronicities.
Bye.
Bye.
Amazing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So I'll stop the live on Facebook.
Thank you. Bye, love.
Good night, still here. Just kid mother duties. You know how it
Bye,
rolls.
Ninja mom.
See you later. Bye.
Talk soon.
Bye, love.
Angie.
Hey, I'm gonna stop the live,
Yeah.
the recording.